Hey everybody, it's Doug here. Doug Mr. God, Board Game Geek, Doug Herring on YouTube, bringing you our next episode of the Victory Point games, about to be soon to be kickstarted. Game of Renegade, which is a game where we are fighting off a supermassive computer by infecting the network with our special hacking avatar skills and abilities. The previous video was a setup video. You can check that out, and it's mostly right. There's a couple things I need to go over on that before we get started, and I'm going to make a modification before we get started as well. First thing I wanted to talk about, as far as, so the game's set up, ready to go, which we did in the last video. We got the Hack Shack set up, which is the area where we get to draft new cards into our hand. We have, and this is the big deck of those that will continue to come out as we play. When we buy one, a new one comes out. Get to buy a bunch if we can, and they don't come out right away, but they do come out. We get more as we go, and we know we're fighting against Alpha Moby, who is the supermassive computer that we're playing against. He's the easiest one. I chose to do that one first because really, even though I've played this a couple of times, test runs, this is really my first game with you guys, so this will be fun. And then our first countermeasure or thing we have to overcome is this misdirection card. It's the copper one, which we have 3: copper, silver, and gold. And on this goal, we have to have one or more replicants. Those are the yellow contaminants on the following number of network partitions. So we're playing a solo player, so we need 2 on partition 6. On partition 6, we need a replicant on 2 of the partition 6 on the different servers. That's how we have to start. And we need to do that within basically before our deck runs out, which is 3 turns. Okay, now let's talk about our character again, and just a little correction I had to make. Okay, so I'm going to botch up some of the terms because there's a lot of terms in the game which add a lot of atmosphere or a lot of immersion into the game, so you feel like you're a real hacker. But I'm going to hack some of the terms for sure. So when last time when I set up, I got out the wrong set of cards for a character. I'm glad somebody noticed it. See, the basic cards have a colored avatar matching your color. I set aside the blue one, which is interesting, but I grabbed the wrong one in the end. I dealt some cards to myself and said, hey, I don't have the right, I think I should have more of these kind of cards, and now I do because I have the right deck. This is a 15-card deck of our basic cards, and we've got Data Steal, we got Bypass, which is a green. You got green. The blue is, there's different things. They're all on the chart here. So the blue ones are data nodes. The green ones are uplinks. And we got the blue and red is viruses, and yellow is replicants. We don't have any yellows in there right now. And so I want to make that correction. I did deal out our first hand. It's right there. And then one more thing. This isn't really a correction. So, but Ricky had commented on about the fact that diving deep into the server, I'm probably going to lose these 2 pathways here with our data nodes. So I'm going to, before I get started, I'm going to make a shift, and I'm going to pull this way, kind of skirt around this server so we can jump into it to take care of the things we need to take care of. And it also gives us some cheap travel access to all the other servers at this point until such time that some sparks come out there. Now we have a spark here in our home territory. We're going to want to take care of that one quickly. Now what I could do is take this off here and maybe go there instead and have a really big pathway. The thing is, I put it here because it wouldn't cost. If I spend a move action, I could go all the way across before I have to actually spend that move point. But it's okay because we'll start with a move point. So I'm going to get on and get off this highway, data node highway. I'm going to have to spend 2. So basically, but that is my specialty, is the data nodes. So for example, this one, if I played this one, I would be able to go 1 onto this pathway. All these would be free, and then when I step off, it'd be 2. So hopefully that makes sense to you. All right. Well, heck, guys, let's get started. I'm nervous because I know Ricky's watching, and this is his game, and he knows how to play, and he's going to be saying, Doug, why'd you do that? That was stupid. Well, he won't say that, but he'll be thinking it. So I'm going to get started right now. We're going to get right into it with Tilda Sweet. She's our hacker. She's our renegade. She's going to try and defeat Alpha Moby. Now, we're going to go, the turn sequence is pretty straightforward. It goes in, basically, the beginning of the phase is called the intel phase. I'm going to just get this up in front of me so I haven't laid out. By the way, again, I just have printed rules. I'm going to stress again, this is all prototype. I have a press kit copy. I do not have a final copy of the game, but like most Victory Point games, the components are already game quality. They're just they're going to be even better in the final version. So the first thing we're going to do is the intel phase, where we're going to check these guys and see what we got to do if there is anything that we have to do at this point. Now with our this part we don't, but with our guy Alpha Moby, we're not going to have to do it yet, but it does say place 1 spark on each partition on faith. That's a starting point. And then down here it tells us what we're going to have to do each turn. It says during your start of turn step, add 1 spark to your partition. So we're going to end up starting with 2 sparks on our partition, and I'll tell you when that's going to happen. So the first phase is the intel phase, where we look for any special instructions. We just did that. Okay, then we go to our command phase. That's where our character gets to start taking our turn, and within that there's several things we can do. We've got our start of turn step. We're going to restock the hack shack. Of course, it's already stocked. We're going to add new sparks. Now, these first, until we defeat this first copper countermeasure, we're not going to, or I think that's what they're called. No, I don't remember. Anyway, this little thing down here shows us when we're going to have to roll for those extra sparks. In the first one we don't, because this is easy mode, dude. And in the next two we do. Yep, I'm being a snowflake. Easy mode, I'm afraid. So we're going to do easy mode. I'm not afraid. I'm kidding. It's just a game, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so then after we do that new spark step, we're going to take our commands and actions. Then we're going to replenish our hand, and then we're going to end our turn. And we can keep, in the first 2 segments of this, we can keep a card for our hand. And I'll show you that, because I may or may not do that, depending on how well our hand draws go and how effective they are for us. Now, where do we start? So we're at start of turn. So remember, we've got our card Alpha Moby, which states that during your turn step, your start of turn step, add 1 spark. That's this mark here. The sparks are these fellas onto our partition. Not really our partition, but the partition where our avatar is. So now we have 2 sparks there. Now we don't want that to get to be more, because that could be problematic as well. So we're either going to defeat one of those sparks or not stay there. And I'm not sure which we're going to do. So let me think about what now that I know that, well, I did know that, I want to think about what our first action is. Remember, what we have to do is we have to get replicants. So this is going to be a little hard for us to get replicants on these 6s, because we don't have a lot of those in our hands. So I'm looking for ways to do that. Now we do have these leadership ones, and I got to check to make sure that we can use leadership to do things like that. I think they can be any wild, if I'm not mistaken, but we got to get these placed. Currently, I got these 2 guys here, so I can't really. I'd have to fight them and tackle them, beat them down before we do that. So I'm gonna take a look at the hack shack right now and see if we have anything really amazing for that. And one of the nice things about the hack shack and buying things from the hack shack during our turn is they go immediately into our hand for use. So that's a very, very powerful tool for us. So we got this emit EMP, which it requires 2 viruses, or actually what do you call not virus, but the action of, which is destruction action. And it gives us a destruction and a leadership, and it says also, when this card is used to initiate an infect action and you succeed, delete all sparks from 1 partition. This might work out for us if I had enough of these cards, but I don't have enough to do that. So if I bought that one, well, actually, now I'm thinking about it, that might work out. Let me think about it. I wonder if I could do it that way. I could get this one with, well, no, because I only have 1. I'll only do this with 2. Yeah, I really can't do that. God, what a cool idea that would have been. However, I do think that because of the power of that and the fact that it's better than my sabotage card, I am going to use this card. Now, I need 2 of these. I have 1, so I can use this one as well, the leader, to meet the needs of the other one. I'm going to take this card. Now, you always, whenever you take a card from the hack shack, you have to put a card, you lose a card back. Now, I'm doing that because I saw Ricky do it, and it looked like a good way to keep track. So we're going to take this card and put it in our hand. I don't know how useful it is yet, but I think it will be in the long run. I'd really love to get this one, but I don't see that happening right away. Still trying to figure out how to best affect our turn, knowing what we have to do. I need replicants somehow. And let's see. Well, let's do this. Now, we can move along this data node. I do have the ability to attack something. with that same card. I could attack one. Let me go back to our board. Now remember, our goal in this particular one is not to defeat these things, but to do the misdirection. So I think, but we do need to clear, especially keep sparks off the table, because we don't want them to grow into guardians, which are nastier versions of the sparks. And we could attack these two right now. But it would be hard because we're going to roll off dice. I don't get any specific bonus. I could actually, we can't attack these because I have to lay down some viruses. So that's duh. Can't do that. Man, I'm just kind of stuck on what to do this turn. I got all this movement and no place to. Well, yeah. Here's what we can do. Okay, here's what we can do, guys. I'm going to play a move action. Okay, just one. Uno mas. Just one. I'm going to play that card. So we're going to play Data Steal. And I'm going to move, that's one to go to there, and then I'm going to move all the way down to here. Partition 1 on the Virtue server. I don't know if this is a good move or not. I'm sure I'll find out soon. Okay, and then I'm going to play these two. Okay, and I have a reason for doing this. You'll see it as I go. But I'm going to play these two, and I'm going to place another data node here. Okay. I could continue to move. I see. The thing is, if I have a contaminant there, or on the beginning of my next turn, well, it won't be the end of my next turn. It'll be the beginning. I could probably do. Maybe I could do something about it by then, right? Maybe, possibly, perhaps. I think. Okay, so we did that. Now I got 2 cards left. I really can't do anything with these particular 2 cards. I could with this. I love this one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard this. And unfortunately, it's going to be that's going to be the end of our turn, but I'm going to keep this one, and then we're going to go to our replenish hand step. So that's going to be our command action. So we did that. I moved down to here, and I placed another data node. What I'm thinking of trying to do is put a 3rd data node here, and then convert that into a data port, which would allow us to teleport from that middle space right here, which would be pretty neat, I think, because I can move back and forth there pretty quickly. I'm trying to establish some movement capability because I don't know what's going to be upcoming from Alpha Moby in the near future. So I'm thinking establishing some movement early while I have the ability to do that will be helpful. You know what I could do? I could have carried a spark with me, but then that would have broken our. Nah, I didn't want to do that for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna keep this card, and then I'm gonna get 5 more. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, yes, that means I have 6 cards in my hand, and that's okay right now. Okay, so I still have this one, and I got a focus, interrupt, 2 more viruses. Oh, yeah, oh, this is great. Okay, okay, this is going to be good, guys. And 2 movement. Okay, awesome, awesome sauce. All right, going to get us part the way there to our goal. All right, so first things first, we are going to move. And unfortunately, I'm just going to use this base. Well, let me. Oh, wait, hold on. Got to step back. Got to go back to our intel phase. That was our end of turn step. There's nothing specific that ends on our end of turn, so that's going to end that. Now we go back to our command phase, or intel phase. There isn't one because we already know what we're doing. So we're going to go back to the command phase and our start of the commands. Well, we know that we are going to put another spark right here with our character, because that's what happens at the start of our turn, and that's bad because if we end up with these 2 here during the phase, the countermeasures phase, those sparks are going to just destroy everything. So we don't want to end up with that if we can avoid it. Now during the new spark step, let me think some more about this. Okay, so after we do that, we are going to, I should have moved it before I turned on the camera. We're going to replace this the card here. This is a pretty good one. That is Adrenaline Surge. It says it's advanced, gives us 2 DDDs. I'm going to keep making sure I get these right. So uplinks, and it says also, this means when I play this, I also get this. When this card is used as part of an upload action, you may upload 1 additional contaminant of that type. So if I use this to do an upload, I could actually upload 2 contaminants. Pretty powerful. Okay, Yeah, let's see how clever I can be. Again, this game is really subtle in its strategies, and it actually a very thinky game in a lot of ways. It's not thinky to the point where, you know, I guess if you have a lot of analysis paralysis, it could have an impact, but it is a definitely thinky game. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spend this decrypt card to gain 2 movement. Okay? And now I was also looking at the cards in the shack, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do there yet. I may not get any of them, but I am going to move first to this location here, location 1 on the salvation server. And because I can, I'm going to take this contaminant with this spark with me and place it here. That Tilda can actually do that. It says when you move, you can carry 1 spark or 1 different color contaminant. So that's her ability. So I move the spark off of this. Then I take my second move action to go here, number 6, and which is one of the 2 places I need to be. And as luck would have it, I have this. I can play these 3 diversion, or diversion and interrupt, to give me 3 deception actions, and play those, and place down what I need on partition 6, which will fill half of my misdirection requirement by placing this here. Okay, now I moved the spark off of the node that would end up destroying things later during the phase that they attack back in, which is a good thing, but I'm a little worried about what's happening up here. I just don't have enough red cards, but remember that I have to have 1 or more replicants. So in this case I have to do 2 replicants on the 6th partition in 2 locations, and I have 1 done now, but I only have 1 turn to complete the next one in, so I got to see if I can do that. Okay, next up, I think we're going to replace some cards because I really can't move any farther. I've already used all the movement I had in my hand, but there are some good cards. I can only actually buy 1 of them, unfortunately. Well, no, I could, oh yeah, I could. Okay, so I'm going to spend the focus. I'm going to do this to gain this advanced card here of Adrenal Surge, because basically it gives me the same thing, but also gives me that. So we're going to place that there, and I'm going to take this into my hand. It's going to end up being discarded, but I'll be able to use it later, unless I can play it now. I don't think I can. Well, I could actually. Nope, I'm missing 1. I would need a 3rd one to put down to do another upload action and put a contaminant there. But I can do this also. Now, there is this reset spark card. It says I said it's a pretty good card. It gives me those, but I need 3, and I'll show you how I can do that. Or execute instead, delete all sparks on 1 partition, or delete the guardian on that partition. That's a really good card, and I can spend both of these to get that, since I can't really keep them, and get rid of this one to pick up that one. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to keep this one. You always have to give 1 back. I'm going to use both of them. I'm going to keep that one. It's spent, but I'm going to keep it, and then I'm going to replace it with this one, which goes into my hand. And that, again, is the reset spark. Okay, now I've come to the, really, I got to make a decision if I can do anything more here. I could drop a virus down where I'm at, but I don't see the value in that currently because it would cost me both of these cards, and I may have a use for this one next turn. So I'm going to discard that one for future. I'm going to keep this one in my hand. Oh wait, I still have this one as well. I think I'm going to not keep this one in my hand right now. This one is going to be more effective for me, I believe. I could be mistaken. So that is going to end that. Now that is the end of the now again, I didn't add any sparks after restoring the hack shack because we don't do that yet, but I did do my command step. Then I got to replenish my hand. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, being the 3rd round, I don't, this is it. I have to spend all my cards. I don't remember if I can do that. Can I keep that card, or do I have to get rid of them all? I think the first 2, well, this would be the first 2, right? Nope, I think I got to get rid of both those in this round. I'm going to double check the rules on that. Let me just check that. Yeah, I can absolutely do that. It's okay, so I still have this card in my hand. What do I got? Do I have enough to do what I need? Well, I do, I think. Do I have any movement? I have movement. Okay, good. And I have enough wilds to pull this off. Okay, yes, I am going to be able to do this. Okay, so again, I don't know how efficiently I'm playing, but we're going to make this goal happen. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to use it for the movement on both of these. Okay, so I'm going to play the data scan. It's going to give us the ability to move. I'm going to move. Oh wait, first off, getting ahead of myself again. Command phase start of turn step. I have to place this here. Okay. But I'm going to pull that same trick again. You'll see how that works. So on the start of turn step, I had to place this one here. So I'm going to then, I haven't played my cards yet. Then I'm going to go to restock the Hack Shack, which I haven't done either. I got to keep making sure I follow this in order because I'm so into what I want to do on my moves. Okay, hold on. This will get smoother as I go. Okay, slash the Black Market. Wow, what a good card. Look at that. 2 leaders, and I need a leader to get it, but it's a leadership action. And reveal during, it says, and reveal during your turn to discard any cards you desire in the Hack Shack and immediately restock them. Pretty good. We'll leave that there. I don't think I'm going to get that yet, but we'll leave it there. And I think they're going to get wiped out this turn anyway. Okay, now we get to do our coolness, right? So I am going to play this for 2 moves. We're going to make 2 moves. First one's going to be here. I'm going to carry this spark with me and leave it there. And then I've cleared this node. And then my second move is going to drop me here, where I am going to play these 2, I believe. And I'm going to play these 2 right here. I'm going to use the yellow. I'm going to use these 2 leaders. This one will be of no value to me, but I'm going to use the 3 of those to create another replicant here. And that is going to end up solving my requirements for my mission. So I did those. Those are going to get discarded. I still have cards left. And I might as well do something with them if I can. Now, one of the things I like about being on the neural uplinks is it allows you to push stuff around from remote. Like I could, if I had them in multiple locations, I could do something with them. But what I can do, if I had more movement, I would move back here and start deleting these, but I don't. But what I think I will do is I'm going to drop this one. This is a good idea. I think I'm going to place a virus with this to help kind of protect that spot right there. We'll see if that works out. But then it's going to leave me with 2 cards I really can't do anything with unless there's something in the shack I can buy, and I don't see that there is. Yeah, there really isn't anything in the shack that I can buy. So I think... Well, actually, I forgot to replace one of the other cards. It's this one here, so I could do that. Let's go back to the shack, the Hack Shack. I mean, this is a basic card, so I might as well do this one. It gives me some more flexibility. It costs 2 to get. I'll take that one and do that. Yep. So I'm going to do this one. It says on interrupt after any spark to roll. Instead, change the face of one of the spark dice to whatever you desire. So that gives us some manipulation ability. But then I'm just really going to kind of trash those 2 cards for the round. And that's going to end our round, actually. So it's a little stumbly for me because I'm trying to make sure I don't make mistakes. And as a result, I'm making some minor mistakes I have to adjust to. But let's go back to the board. Since we've completed our turn, we're going to go to the countermeasures phase. This is when Alpha Moby is going to strike back. We completed our 3 rounds. So the first thing that happens, we have a spark battle. There aren't any because I tried to manipulate them around so that wouldn't happen. Even though I think as we go forward, I'm going to have to tackle some of these. Because if we run out of them, we lose the game. So we got to remember that. Or run out of, actually, well, you'll see how it works. Okay, the virus battle segment would be if we had some viruses. It's a weaker version of an attack on these sparks. They have to battle it out and see who wins. We don't have that scenario either. So now we go to the next step, which is delete contaminants. If we had a contaminant on a spark, or sorry, a spark in the same space as a contaminant, we would delete all of, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, automatically delete all contaminant tokens on that space, so we don't have to worry about that. Now we check for success or failure. Okay, this is where things get really interesting, because we did succeed at misdirection. I have 2 replicants on network access points. I have one here on the 6th node there, and then one here on the 6th node in the Freedom server. Awesome. So we succeeded at this. Now we flip it over and we go to the success section, and it says add 1 propagator anywhere on the network. That is awesome. So a propagator is a big fat killer. It's this bad boy right here. And I think I know where I want to put it. Let me think about this for a second. No, I don't even need to think about it. It's going right here. Okay, that contaminant cannot destroy that. Wait, can I do that? Can I place that guy? It says anywhere on the board. I don't know if regular rules apply. Anywhere in the network. Ricky, do regular rules apply on that about placement? I don't remember. Anyway, I think I can do that. I'm going to double check because this is going to be the end of the episode anyway, so I'm going to double check that. And then we got to go and look at some movement here of our contaminants. These arrows tell us if it's going to move up or down on a server, up or down by number on a server. So, for example, and I got to check to see, I'm going to go through this and just check all these, make sure I do them right for you. So we're going to do this, the Virtue server first. There are no sparks on the Virtue server, otherwise they'd move up, so we don't have to worry about that. Then we go here to the server of, this kind of bites, but it's okay. We can take care of it before, because see, the red server, we're going to move down one. Oh, that's 6 down, so that means a lower number. Well, I pushed this to 1 thinking that it would probably go up, not down. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So when you do the action on the card, it's going to loop. So we're going to move up or down a number. This one says to move down, so I can't move down from 1 to nothing. So unfortunately, it's going to move, and you can see the arrows, right, going along here. It's going to move to the 6 node right there. That kind of bites, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And then we go up to the our green server, Freedom. Again, we don't have any sparks, so we would move 1 up, but we don't worry about it. And then last but not least, we're going to the Faith server. This is an interesting one, because we're going to move all the sparks up 1. So since there's a spark on every partition, they're just going to end up in the exact same space as they are now. So basically, for example, since it actually says move down, so this one would move down to 1, this one would move to 2, this one would move to 3, this one would move to 4, to 5, to 6. Or however that would work. It'd go the other way around, actually. 6 to 5 to 4. Yeah, anyway, you get the idea. It would end up moving to where they all end up in the exact same space. They're just circling around like vultures who want to eat us for lunch. And that's going to be it. So that is the end of that card, the countermeasure card, but that's not the end of the countermeasure turn. So we move the sparks, we did that. Then we go into a refresh phase and prepare for the next cycle of the game. So there are no more countermeasure cards left, so we're okay there. There are 2 more left, rather. So we're going to look at that in the next part of the game. Then we go to our new deal step. We're going to have to shuffle up our cards, and we're going to purge the Hack Shack. So in this round, I will shuffle and deal our new cards out. Okay, so Tilda, I'm shuffling up our deck here, just trying to make sure that we have a good shuffled up deck. And then unfortunately, I'm going to have to purge the Hack Shack, but that's okay. Get some cool new cards out. Okay, so basically I'm going to do that. I'll cut once. Boom. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be our starting hand for this round. Some movement. Oh, good. Got one of the... Oh, I'm going to get to destroy some stuff this turn. But we don't know what we need to do yet. We're going to have to check that. Okay, so here's what we do. We are going to purge the Hack Shack. So I'm going to take all the cards and get rid of them, but I want to take the ones that are basic cards like these, and I'm just going to put them aside because they're going to go back in their basic hand at the end. So these 2, for example, will go back, and then I'll purge these ones, and we'll draw out 4 new ones. We get Quality, Hologram, and I'll read what they do in a second. Ginger Cool, which we've already seen, which I like, and ooh, Self-Modifying Inhibitor. So the Hologram requires 3. This is a really good card for us. It gives us another data node and 2 leaders. It says or execute to instead teleport your avatar to any partition of the network as a move action. That's pretty powerful. I'll probably pick that one up. And then Quality, it requires 1 of the replicants, and it gives us a replicant, but it also says or execute instead flip 1 contaminant on your partition, thus altering its other type. So that gives us an ability to do some modification. And then this one is Self-Modifying Inhibitor. It requires 2. Gives me 1 in a while that says or execute to delete 1 spark on your partition. You may then add one replicant there if desired. That's pretty powerful. Get to delete a spark and add a replicant. And then we've seen this one before. So that's what's in the call it the Crab Shack. Isn't that awful? Oh my God, my kids have permeated me with SpongeBob. Okay, hold on. But not least, I want to look at our silver card that we're going to have to deal with this turn. And it's going to be tougher. So, goal. Here, have the required number of installations, those are the square ones, on any partition on Faith. For solo play, I need 2. Well, man, we got lucky on that. I didn't even think about that, but we placed this one here. So, and then it says Palace Building. An installation can be created. A installation can or a palace building can be created with only 2 same colored contaminants. However, during the delete installation segment, 2 sparks deletes any 1 installation on the partition. So we got to watch that. But that is pretty cool. So, and I'm already halfway there just by default. I got lucky on that, didn't I? It's just because I decided to place this this one here. That's pretty good. So basically, guys, I'm going to end the turn here. Next turn, we're going to get started. Now, next turn, however, we will be placing additional sparks in the one that we placed at the start of the turn, like here, because now you see that dot on the silver spot. We're going to roll 1 die. These dice, this dice anyway, during our turn to place an additional spark. So we're going to start fighting some things and killing them, getting them knocked down. But I don't want to miss those goals. They're too important, and they come with rewards like this, which was very powerful for us. So guys, I kind of stumbled through that, but we got there. I just keep skipping steps because I want to get right to my turn and take my card actions. But you know that we got to make sure we continue to populate the hack shack and put out the sparks, etc. I think I managed it on this turn. It'll get smoother on the next one. And basically, remember, this is going to be 3 full rounds for us, and we just completed our first full turn. First full turn. 3 rounds are in the middle of the turn, but first full turn. So, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I hope you enjoy this. It's a really neat game. It's making me think a lot, and talking and thinking sometimes don't gel well with me. But I think we're doing just fine. So, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And, by the way, check out, I wanted you to check out something. I got to remember this, so hold on just a second. Yeah, I remember now. 2 games of Gloom of Killforth, which is a really neat game. One is by the One Stop Co-op Shop. You can look him up. He's on my sidebar list on my channel. And also what's the other one? Rolling Solo, I think it is, has a Gloom of Killforth game going as well. Pretty neat stuff. So check those guys out. I appreciate it. And also, if you're interested about all these different actions I'm explaining to you and running through in this game, Ricky's done a really neat thing on his channel. That's Ricky Royal, where he basically breaks down each of the actions into a little video segment, very quick video segment, which I'm sure is going to help me keep myself straight in these. I've watched him a couple of times now just to make sure I'm doing some of these things correctly. And it's really helpful, and it really adds a lot to this game. I wish other games would do things like that. But because Ricky does the YouTube stuff, it was easy for him to accomplish, and it's really neat. And yes, I'm talking about you while you're watching. So there you have it. Guys, thanks again. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.